This podcast replay is brought to you by East Coast Public Adjusters. And folks, there's only 9 months left to reopen that IRMA claim. Get that free inspection. Don't settle for less. Call East Coast Public Adjusters, 855-GET-ECPA. That's 855-GET-ECPA.
Join us.
I got Andrew Ivins for you, bud.
All right, the man, the myth, the legend, that is Andrew Ivins. You can follow him on Twitter at Andrew_Ivins. Catch his work at 24/7 Sports. Andrew, how you doing, my brother? Your head spinning right now, keeping up with all this stuff?
I mean, it's almost over, so I'm doing great right now. Gotten through what I call silly season, which is the early week and few days kind of leading up to the early signing period. Now it's easy cruising. We know where most of the kids are going.
All right, so that's why I wanted to get you on at the back end of the show, because I figured most of the recruiting news would be done. Talk to us about what the U has done. The good thing about having you on is you've seen some of these kids, so you kind of know about them already. So fill us in on this recruiting class, what you like and what you don't like.
Well, we'll start with what I call the finish, and that's kind of really what happened today in just terms of the announcements that kids made and some of the decisions that were made. I think the finish today was poor for Miami. They lost a commitment from a defensive end that they really like, Romello Height. He's a 4-star pass rusher out of Dublin, out of Dublin, Georgia. He's the kid who last week said that he was 1,000% with Miami. He was locked in. He wasn't doing anything, and then all of a sudden he signed with Auburn, so they lost out on him. And then the other one is South State safety Jaden Francois. He's a 4-star kid, had 12 picks as a junior. He ended up picking Nebraska over Miami, which is one that's certainly going to sting. So I didn't like kind of the results on Wednesday, but with that being said, I think what Miami signed today, I think it was 19 kids. That's the final number. I'm sorry, 18 kids. I really like the group they have. I mean, there's some talented pieces. The 2 running backs, Don Chaney Jr. from Belen Jesuit and Jalen Knighton out of Deerfield Beach. Like, I don't think there's going to be a better running back duo in the country that's signed on Wednesday. And then the quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, I mean, he's a guy who fits Dan Enos' system and what they want to do. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got an elite pass rusher and Chance Williams. So it wasn't the best of classes, but given the circumstances and how Miami closed out the season, I still think it was a pretty good haul for the Hurricanes.
Offensive line, it was something that we weren't happy with this year. How are they with that offensive line? I know some of it was young, and what do they have already on the roster, and what did they add in recruiting? Did they add anything of quality?
I just submitted my grades for the early signing period, and what they did, and I gave Miami like a D, just because they only signed 2 kids on the offensive line. And don't get me wrong, I like both the kids they got. Jalen Rivers is a kid from up in Jacksonville. He's a top 24/7 kid, a 4-star, an Under Armour All-American. Like, he's a kid who I think was challenged for playing time early. And then the other one they signed is Chris Washington. He's a lengthy 6'7" tackle out of the Nashville area. Like, I think those are 2 great pieces. But if I'm Miami, I'm trying to take as many offensive linemen as I can each cycle until I figure this thing out, because this unit has been pretty bad the past couple of years. We saw it this season, how many sacks they gave up, how it kind of fell apart, and how they tried to start how they did start 2 true freshmen, So I think from a numbers standpoint, they came up way short. I mean, you should be volume shooting it and getting as many guys in as you can until you fix the problem. So I think that's a major concern, and that's something they're going to look to try to address through the transfer portal, and maybe even the junior college level, just kind of when the dust settles and they see what's still available come January and February.
Andrew Ivins from 24/7 Sports joining us here on the program. If you're a Canes fan, he's a must-follow at Andrew_Ivins on Twitter, and you can catch his work there at 24/7 Sports. When you talk about this recruiting class, They had pretty much had it on lockdown considering the setbacks on the field. Now they did suffer some setbacks, some decommits. Is this what are you hearing from people about the future of the program and Manny Diaz and those kind of things? Because, my thing is I don't get excited ever about recruiting, but I'm really not going to get excited if I think that the coaching staff is not a good coaching staff and can develop players. And this past season, I didn't see them develop and make this team better. So that's what really concerns me. So I wonder, with some of the losses and the decommits, what's the talk around the program?
I think if you're a Miami fan, you have every right to be pretty frustrated. I mean, Manny was brought in because he didn't think that this was a long-term fix. He thought it was just needed a few tweaks and then he could get this thing rolling. And just kind of how the season played out, that didn't really line up with what he said. This is really, I think, the third straight signing period where Miami has missed out on a lot of guys. And in previous years, I kind of thought that maybe Mark Richt wasn't as aggressive as he needed to be on the recruiting trail. And I thought, hey, well, maybe Manny Diaz can be that young, energetic guy and make it really hard for these kids to say no. And it turns out, not much has really changed. Like, yeah, Miami was able to hold on to some really good guys and send off some SEC schools. But at the same time, it was kind of the same thing we've seen in these previous years. So I don't really know what the vibe is or anything like that. I just know that it's going to be hard for Miami to kind of find some momentum this offseason, especially if they went out and lost to Louisiana Tech next week in the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. So I'm interested to see if Manny tries to change the narrative and maybe, I don't know, bring in a new offensive coordinator and say that they're going to go spread or anything like that. And that's just me kind of hypothetically speaking. I haven't heard anything that suggests that he's going to do that, but something's going to need to change, I think, if he's going to get this thing right, just kind of based on how the season ended and kind of how they closed in recruiting.
All right, Andrew, what else in this class? Is there a player out there that you really love in this class that you haven't mentioned?
One guy who I think will be a fan favorite of sorts is Xavier Restrepo. He's out of Deerfield Beach. I call him like a Swiss Army knife of sorts or a utility man. He caught passes this year for the Bucs. He threw passes. He defended passes. He returned kicks. He made tackles on special teams. He's just a hard-nosed football player, and he's someone who's going to enroll early and doesn't have the most stars next to his name, but I think he's a yes sir, no sir guy, and he's someone who I think will find his way onto the field early just because he does a lot of special teams, and I think he's someone you need to take in your program. So he's one I think Miami fans will eventually come around on and like a lot. Another one is a guy who they kind of held on to here late in the 11th hour. That's Jalen Harrell. He's a safety out of Hialeah Champagnat Catholic. They won a 2A state title. Same program that produced Greg Russo. And it's funny because Greg Russo actually played safety at Hialeah Champagnat, and Jalen Harrell did the same this season, although I expect him to stay at defensive back and not transition to a defensive end. But he's a guy who Georgia Tech was trying to make things interesting this morning, and Florida State was also in there. He was a former Florida State commit, but to me, when I see him, I see like a Derwin James type body and frame as a safety. And I think once they get him into David Feely's strength program and give him a year to develop, like he's someone who should challenge for playing time. And I think he's a really, really good take.
Andrew, I don't know if you really follow it heavy. You got any idea on how FAU and FIU did recruiting wise here locally?
I know I haven't been tracking it as much as I should be today, just because I've been driving around a lot of different places. But I will say there are some pieces of FIU's class when I went up and down their commit list that I like. I know they pulled some kids out of St. Thomas Aquinas. I think Butch does an excellent job there. SAU on Sunday night, they were able to flip Sebastian Dolstein. He's the nation's number 3 ranked junior college offensive lineman. He was committed to Mississippi State, flipped to Willie Taggart in SAU, and I think Willie's going to be able to get that thing cranking once he's given some more time. It seems like no matter what and where he is, kids kind of want to play for him. So I think if you're an SAU fan, you should be pretty excited about the direction he's heading, because while the national media love to say that Lane Kiffin's this great recruiter, I don't really think he was that great at roster management. So I think Willie's going to get some really good players in there.
All right, good stuff there from Andrew Ivins from 24/7 Sports. Andrew, I know I wanted to ask you one more thing. Oh, yes. I know you said D as in the offensive line area. What is your overall grade on this class for the University of Miami?
Oof, I would give it like a B if I had to give it an overall grade. And I know everyone wants to. If you're a Canes fan out there sitting in your car and you follow the football program, you're probably saying F or D and everything. But the reality is, let's kind of remove what happened today. Like, this is still a really solid group, and a group where I think you have multiple starters in it. And that's what you need. And the other great thing about this class and what they signed is I think they're going to have 12 or 13 early enrollees. And last year, Miami only had 3 early enrollees. And there was times in the spring where they just didn't have a lot of scholarship guys. And that makes it really hard to practice and develop your roster. So I think a couple years from now, we'll look back and we'll say that, hey, man, this class was probably a little bit better than we expected, and we have a lot of role players in this class. Like, it obviously could have been a lot better, but just given the 6-6 record and how they opened the season with 2 losses, but they won 3 games, so they lost 2 games at the end. Like, that makes it really hard on the staff's recruiting efforts. So I think they do deserve some credit for getting some of these guys to stick. Now, I'm not giving them a pass for what happened with some of the other ones, but they still righted the ship, and it could have been a lot worse.
Follow him on Twitter at Andrew Ivins, Andrew_Ivins. And, of course, catch his work at 24/7 Sports. And, Andrew, you got to tell him about the podcast, my brother.
Yeah. You guys can find my podcast, the people at 24/7 Sports, making us all do these podcasts through the smoke. You can just search it on any one of your platforms. We do it about once a week. I'm sure I'll have a full breakdown of the early signing period and kind of take a look at what's next. But, yeah, be sure to check it out.
There you go. Always great work from Andrew Ivins from 24/7 Sports. Andrew, as always, you're a stud, my man. Thank you for taking some time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. Enjoy the rest of you guys' Wednesday.
You got it, baby. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. There you go. The great Andrew Ivins. I love it. I love it. Not that I'm really, the recruiting thing, but I'm happy you guys got it, because a lot of you out there, you want to hear from people like Andrew who cover this recruiting thing on a daily basis, and he knows a hell of a lot more than I ever will. I just don't follow it. I don't follow high school sports at all. It's very little that I follow it. I don't have time, man. I don't have time. I